Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming to our regular board meeting of Thursday, October 26th. It is 6:05. Ms. Burgos, can you call roll call?
Trustees present tonight are Kim, Valenzuela, Romo, Duarte, and Aguilar. You have a full quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Burgos. Mrs. Romo, can you lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes, thank you. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mrs. Romo.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item C, approval of agenda.
Second.
So moved by Mrs. Romo, second by Ms. Aguilar.
Have a discussion.
Mr. Kim?
Yes, I believe we used to have the, after the public comment, we used to have board comments. After we just say in and out, just pull it in and put it out. I'd like to have in the next agenda settled as after the comment from the public the open public comments, which is supposedly before the closed session, which is like a J. Before the J, so we put the after the J, we put the board members comment for the whatever they have a report. They have a. I think you guys put the 3 minutes over there, and you pulled out. And just like a CD we used to have, and then the end of it we have like a future agenda or closing comment time. We have it.
Yeah.
I believe we have a closing that comment, but I like to see we can have the board comment after the public regular comments.
Yeah, and the reason why it was moved to the bottom, Mr. Kim, because the last time that we had a board meeting, it did not work for us because we had questions that the audience made and stuff, and we couldn't discuss it at the end. So that's why it was moved back to the bottom.
But we're not discussing.
And,
it's a comment.
and I take your comment,
Yes.
and I'll take into consideration at
Okay.
the next agenda.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have a first by Ms. Romo, seconded by Ms. Aguilar. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. No opposed, no abstentions. Motion passes 5-0. Comments from the public for closed session items only. Okay, I have no comments from the public for closed session items. It is 6:10. We will now go into closed session. We will be back by 7:10, or if we're done sooner, we'll be back. Thank you. Public comments, the accountability, dairy products, school textbooks. D is accountability. What's D? D. Okay, we are back from closed session. We will be reconvening to closed session after recommendation actions. Okay. We move on to item number G, presentations, student representatives. Good evening and welcome back. And congratulations to some of you. We see new faces. first student representative will be from Aurora, Christopher Gonzalez.
We have a change of students.
Okay.
And this is Valerie Ferguson.
Valerie Ferguson.
Valerie Ferguson.
Okay. Valerie, can you please go to the podium?
Good evening, board members, district office administration, and members of the audience. On October 8th, Aurora High School ASB sponsored a blood drive through Desert Blood Services. We collected 39 units of blood. 100% of the blood stays in the Pearl Valley and goes to help people from our community. Student elections were held October 19th. The president is Omar Diaz, vice president Valerie Ferguson, secretary Leslie Flores, and treasurer Evelyn Nunez. Red Ribbon Week was a week of ASB planned something for fun or interesting every day. The students was decorated with posters that we made, banners, and ribbons. Monday, your choices are the key to your dreams. Red ribbons were passed out for everyone to wear. Tuesday, red vine candies were given to all students. Wednesday, students tied red ribbons to the fence. Thursday, students got to wear red shirts. Tomorrow, we will have an apple munching game giving the winner prizes. We will be having a Halloween carnival to entertain second and third grade students from Rockwood Elementary School. The kids will be playing carnival games planned by teachers' third period class. Thank you for your time, and I hope everyone has a safe Halloween.
Thank you, Valerie. You were done, right?
Ramon Ayala was...
Oh, okay, we're going to do the Student of the Month. You'll get to come back
Okay.
once we do those. Thank you.
Okay.
From the high school, we have Hector Teran.
Good evening, parents, students, board of trustees, Ms. Ambris. My name is Hector Teran, and I am the representative for Calexico High School. This year has been already full of great and wonderful events. To start off the year, we had sophomore class elections, and those were elected. We've had 3 pep rallies this year. We've had a spirit pep rally, a fiesta-themed pep rally, and an apocalypse pep rally. On October 11th, we had a blood drive, and we collected 122 total donations, and that will go to our total year goal of 435. This month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so every Wednesday we've asked all the students to wear pink, and also the teachers. We also had homecoming elections on October 18th, and our homecoming corps was chosen. We have a sophomore, junior, and 2 queen nominees, and the queen will be selected at the football game. The Bulldogs for Health Awareness and the Health Occupation Club competed in a health debate last night, and they won first place, a nice plaque, and a $350 grand prize. The Red Ribbon Assembly took place today. That happened in 4th period, and we had a wonderful guest speaker who was a recovering addict, and we had some performances. We had the adrenaline perform, and we had a nice small skit. Locks of Love will take place tomorrow, and that is a hair donation donation type thing, and those were girls who want to donate about 10 to 12 inches of hair, and that will benefit girls who are cancer patients. Spirit Week will be next week. Monday starts off with Pajama Day. Tuesday is Salad Dressing Day, and the seniors, they have Thousand Island Dressing, which that is Hawaiian wear. Juniors have Ranch Dressing, which is cowboy Western wear, and the sophomores have Blue Cheese, which blue wear. Wednesday is Halloween, and Thursday we have backwards slash mix and match, and that's when students get to combine different types of clothing with one another. And on Friday is Extreme Spirit in honor of our homecoming game. Homecoming skits will take place on Monday, and that is a class competition between the sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And this year's theme is TV shows and movies from different decades, and they mix those together to complete a small skit. Rent-A-Pal will be Tuesday, and that is a senior fundraiser in which people auction themselves off, and they have to be not slaves, but they're the person who buys them. They basically have control over them in some sense. Club Day.
I remember that.
Club Day will take place on Halloween, and over there will be a costume contest. Homecoming parade. The homecoming parade will take place on Friday at 3:45 p.m. It will start at the high school, go through downtown and back. So we hope to see a lot of people there. The homecoming game will take place that following night at 7:00 p.m. and that's during halftime. We'll crown our queens and we'll present the homecoming court and the winner of the class float. The football team has been very victorious this year with 6-2 season. And if they win tomorrow, they have a chance to go 8-2 for the season by beating Southwest at the homecoming game. And also our cross-country boys have been undefeated, and our girls are 6-2 as well. These have been our past and future events. Thank you.
Our next student representative is from Enrique Camarena, Ismael Arvizo.
Good evening, board members, administrators, and community members. My name is Ismael Arvizo, and I am the Enrique Camarena ASB president. I will be presenting the school report tonight. Our school report is the following. Our ASB Back to School dance was held on Friday, September 7th from 4 to 6 p.m. We had an excellent student turnout. A light waste recycling was invited to present at a special assembly on Wednesday, September 19. A light waste did a great job of explaining the importance of recycling and helped to kick off our recycling program at Enrique Camarena Junior High School. Our back to school dance was held on Thursday, September 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. We had an excellent parent turnout. ASB sold t-shirts and sweaters to promote school spirit. Our ASB elections were held on Friday, September 28th. Our ASB officers are the following. ASB President, I, Ismael Arvizo. ASB Vice President, Rogelio Gonzalez. Secretary, Beatriz Sandoval. Treasurer, Janet Romo. Representatives, Clarissa Cota and Leila Green. Our general parent meeting and student of the month recognition celebration was held on Wednesday, October 10th. Student of the month across the different contents areas were recognized. The multipurpose room was packed with parents, and students were excited about receiving their recognition and awards. Our first Enrique Camarena Junior High School Fall Carnival was held on Friday, October 12th from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. We had great student and parent and community turnout. Our haunted house was great success. All clubs and departments participated in making the event a success. Enrique Camarena Junior High School participated in the Great California Shakeout, which was held on Thursday, October 18 at 10:18 a.m., which, along with millions of the other students at Enrique Camarena Junior High School took the drill very serious. Everyone dropped cover and held on, and then proceeded to evacuate to their zones. Univision was present at Enrique Camarena to cover the event and did a story on the drill. You can go online and see the broadcast at Univision website. We are celebrating Red Ribbon Week with our Say No to Drugs campaign. As part of our Ribbon Week activities on Wednesday, October 24th, we held a special assembly in honor of Enrique Kiki Camarena. We had Special Agent Mando and Agent Sanchez present, followed by motivational speaker Russ Peak, student at Enrique Camarena, pledged to say no to drugs. An article was written regarding to the event and came out in front of the Imperial Valley Press. Some of the spirit activities this year for the week include the following: Crazy Hair Day, Mustache Day, Halloween Dress Up Day, Myth Day, and Jersey Day. Our ASB Masquerade Ball will be held this Friday, October 26th from 5 through 8 p.m. It is a Halloween dance, and students are encouraged to wear their costumes. This will be a costume contest on the dance, and students will have a chance to win in one of the following categories: scariest, funniest, and most original. The winners of each category will be given gift certificates. Our annual food drive begins on Thursday, November 1st. If you would like to donate any canned items or blankets, please drop them off at Enrique Camarena Junior High School front office. Our next club day will be held on Friday, November 2nd. All students and staff are very excited about this upcoming event. Club day will be held during lunchtime this Friday, and we'll have music and goodies sold by different clubs and departments. Thank you.
Thank you. Student representative from Willy Moreno, Daniela Cortez.
We have another representative for tonight, Carla Hernandez.
Okay, Carla Hernandez, welcome.
Good evening, parents and board members. My name is Carla Hernandez, and I am a Willy Moreno Junior High representative. We have had some great activities at Willie Moreno these past 2 months. On September 20th, we had our back to school night. On September 21st, we had our back to school dance. This October, we recently had activities during lunchtime, such as balloon stomp, tug of war, water relay, and birthday dances. We also had club day, which we all had a great time. As tradition, we had our annual math get-together, where we showcase our math skills to our parents. This week, we are observing Say No to Drugs campaign by having Red Ribbon Week. Monday was Superhero T-shirt Day. Tuesday was Crazy Hair Day. Wednesday was Jersey Day. Today, Thursday, was Wear Red Day, and we had Russ speak as a motivational speaker. Tomorrow, Friday, we will have Costume Day and our yearly Halloween dance. Go Aztecs. Thank you.
And our next representative is from Calexico High 9th, Johnny Jaime.
Hello, my name is Johnny Jaime. I'm president of Calexico High School 9th grade campus. We've been really busy planning activities for our student body. In the upcoming week, we have our Halloween carnival on October 30th from 3:30 to 5:30, and it's also open to the public. We also have our Spirit Weeks starting on this upcoming Monday through Friday. Monday is Pajama Day, Tuesday is Twin Day, Wednesday is Halloween/Jersey Day, Thursday is Mix Match and Crazy Hair Day, and Friday is Nerd Day. And lastly, we have our Homecoming Parade on November 2nd at 3:30 p.m. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, now moving on to the Student of the Month recognitions.
Hold on. Nobody announced about the
No,
translation service.
no.
Quiero avisar en este momento que tenemos servicio de traducción para los papás que ocupan traducción. We have translation services for anybody who wishes to have them. And they have earphones outside. Los audífonos están afuera si ocupan para traducción. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar. For Aurora, we have Student of the Month. The student and the parents, if they're here, they can come forward with their child. From Aurora, we have Christopher Gonzalez can come up to the podium so you can read the bio for...
Valerie.
I'm sorry. I should have crossed that out. Valerie, to read the bio for Alejandra Torres. Alejandra Torres, is she here? Yeah. Yes.
Do I start?
Go ahead.
Alejandra Torres. She was born in Mexicali. She is a 12th grade student, happy to be here in Aurora High School. She needs 27 credits to graduate. After graduating, she wants to study at Mexicali UABC. What she's gonna study is nursing and then move to SD to make her life. She likes sports. She goes to karate and has had her parents' support during the school years. She says it's been great being here and making her parents happy again. She wants to thank all her teachers for their help and all her friends for what they have done for her.
Can you stay up, Valerie? We have one more. Ramon Ayala? Do you sing?
Ramon Ayala was born in El Centro. He is 18 years old. When he finishes high school, he wants to go to college and study law enforcement. His goal is to graduate, go to college, and then work as a border patrol. He would like to thank his parents for all their support.
For the high school, Mr. Teran, can you come to the podium? And for the high school Student of the Month recognition is for Adele Holloway.
Adele Holloway is the daughter of Eleanor Holloway. Her current GPA is 4.4. The club she currently is involved in is ASB, where she serves as treasurer, CSF, class of 2013. Her plans for the future are to finish top 10 of her class and go on to college and obtain a master's degree in speech pathology. Her favorite things about Calexico High School is the unity of all students and the happiness her friends brings to her. She especially would like to thank all her teachers who have supported her, and especially her mom for not only being her best friend, but her role model.
Next, we have Alex Martinez.
Alex Martinez is the son of Alex Martinez and Gloria Sanchez. His current GPA is a 4.63. The clubs he's currently involved with is the class of 2013, where he serves as president, MESA, and NHS. His plans for the future are to study computer science at Stanford and obtain a degree in that. His favorite things about Calexico High School are his friends, who have been there for him at all times, and he would especially like to thank his family and friends for all their support.
Carla Hernandez, can you please come up to the podium?
Congratulations.
For Student of the Month recognitions for Willie Moreno, we have Desiree De La O.
Desiree is an 8th grader at William Moreno Junior High School. Her parents are Blanca Hidalgo and Arturo de la O, who happen to be her role models. She has a sister by the name of Destiny. She is a 4.0 GPA student. Desire enjoys all her classes, but her favorite subject is math. Desire enjoys listening to pop and rock and roll. She would like to visit Paris, but wouldn't mind taking frequent trips to San Diego. Her goal for this year is to maintain her GPA. Her goals for the future are to go to San Diego State University and to have a good career as a teacher or a baker.
Our next student for Willie Moreno is Juan Salvador Gutierrez.
Juan Gutierrez. Juan is the 8th grader at Willie Moreno Junior High School. His mother is Laura Martinez. He is a 4.0 GPA student. Juan enjoys all his classes, but his favorite subject is math. Juan enjoys listening to hip-hop and loves to eat pizza and wishes to drive a Ferrari in the near future. He is interested in architecture and plans to study in Holland.
Okay. From high school 9th, from Johnny Jaime, can you come up to the podium? From high school 9th, we have Jessica Herrera.
Jessica Herrera is the daughter of Alfredo Herrera and Maria Luisa Gomez. Her favorite subject, she loves all her subjects at the 9th grade high school and can't decide between them because each teacher teaches something new and different. She plans on attending UCSD and majoring in medicine as a pediatrician. And if she could change something in the world, she would like to change the hunger and sickness of our world.
Our other student for high school 9th is Arturo Medina.
Arturo Medina is the son of Arturo Medina and Astrid Caldera. His favorite subject is language arts, and he would like to attend MIT and major in mechanical engineering. And if he could change something in the world, he would like to change university prices and lower them so more people could get a better education.
Ismael Arbizu, can you come back to the podium? Our next student of the month for Enrique Camarena is Nicole M. Soriano.
Nicole M. Soriano is a 7th grader a 7th grade student in Enrique Camana Junior High School. Nicole is the daughter of Mario Soriano and Maria de Lourdes Soriano. Her hobbies are listening to music and taking pictures of herself, her dogs, food, or things she likes. Her favorite subject is history. When she graduates, she would like to go to a university to study to be a lawyer. She would like to have that career in law because she will get to defend people and their rights.
Next student for Enrique Camarena is Fernando Jesus Silva.
Fernando Jesus Silva is a 8th grade student in Enrique Camana Junior High School. Fernando Jesus is the son of Maria F. Juan E. Silva and Maria D. Silva. His hobbies are to play soccer, play video games, go to trips, and watch TV, playing with his cousins, and visiting his family. His favorite subject in school is mathematics. When he graduates, he would like to go to a good university and get a job as a computer game designer or be a professional soccer player. Before he succeeds, he knows he will have to study hard and pass all his classes.
Okay. Thank you, students, and let's give another round of applause for all the students of the month. Before we go forward with the meeting, there is cake and some coffee for the students of the month and the parents. Everybody's welcome to have a piece. And then in 2 minutes, we will continue the meeting. 2 minutes.
Really good.
It's also the board president's birthday tomorrow.
Ay, otro año.
Pero hasta mañana. Hasta mañana.
Hasta mañana. A ver si nos salimos a la 1 de la mañana. Tienes que partir el pastel.
Aren't they cute? I love my socks. And then I've got the ones of and then I have the hoop. Horton here's a hoop. How you doing, Gab? ¿Qué te diré? So I'm preparing myself for the next year. So I've got certain ideas of how I want things to. I do want to. And then I know. Yeah, no, those are just the things. It's on the 2nd? Yes. I don't know. I'm going out of town. Pero, okay. Hey, Monday, I don't know if you've ever heard of Ramon Chunky Gonzalez and Los Alacranes. They're gonna be playing at San Diego State. And Ramon Chunky Gonzalez, look him up on YouTube. They play Chicano music. Also, we're going to have an altar del Día de los Muertos, so that's a kind of nice show. On Monday, 6 to 10 parade. Yeah. Take a blanket so you can kick back in this.
My 4-year-old is
He stayed in the parents. They're terrible too.
You know what? I think what happened is we got so attached to summer for the first time, and it's just maybe. Right now, he's crying every time on my leg, and he's like, "What time are you coming? Why are you having me?" Like, he's very articulate, very much and demanding of me.
So you say, my boss at home is waiting for me.
But anyway, every Friday we have an activity.
Okay.
So come and learn on a Friday. Come and learn on a Friday. Okay. Every day is fun, but I think Friday is more fun. Yeah. Mr. Romo, how are you? Yeah. Menos mañana le digo a pero estoy haciendo normal que los muchachos están teniendo actividades, están tocando para el talent show every Friday, los viernes, todos están divirtiendo, cantando, y el viernes son muy divertidos los muchachos para que lo quieren ver. Pero nuestros niños quieren todos bien los viernes están cantando y bailando cuando quieran ir. Y el viernes que viene van a bailar todos los maestros sorpresa para los estudiantes.
My literacy bent. Thank you, ma'am. I don't know who he is. He's one of our... Yeah, he's one of our recipients. He graduated from UCSD, and he's working in the
Okay, we will get started. All 5 board members are back. Are we ready?
I think we're...
I think Janet. Here she comes. We're just waiting on Ms. Burgos to come in. Minute taker. Okay. Okay. Moving on to item H, Superintendent's Report. Ms. Ambris?
Good evening. A few things to report this week, or this month, is this past week, we had a lockdown at Willie Moreno Junior High School. There was an individual who entered our campus and was acting rather erratically. I've been out to Willie Moreno to commend our staff for their prompt response to the incident, and for above securing themselves, were more about securing their students and making sure that they were safe and out of harm's way. The school itself, in addition to Blanche Charles, was under lockdown for about 35 minutes, and everything was taken care of. The individual was taken into custody by Calexico Police Department, and we took the opportunity to again review all of our safety procedures with the Calexico Police Department personnel, our SROs, and including Lieutenant Gerardo from Police Department as well, was here yesterday with our administrative staff, and just review what went well and how everyone reacted properly and positively in a moment of crunch. So kudos to our staff, and Mrs. Williams was able to lead the school in an emergency situation. So congratulations to her on that. Of course, we never want to have to lock down our schools. We never want there to be emergencies, but it's reassuring to know that when there are emergencies, our staff knows exactly what to do, and they all responded properly, positively. There was a call out to all parents that afternoon, and of course the phone calls started flooding the office, but we were able to field the calls, and I say we because I was actually out there taking phone calls myself. And again, Willie Moreno went back to normal within 30 minutes of the incident starting. One of the things that you asked at the last meeting was to investigate the seal of biliteracy, and in a few minutes, Dr. Isaac Estrada will give you brief information that he has secured on what the district needs to do on the seal of biliteracy, obtaining the seal of biliteracy for our students. Also, there's a county-wide effort to develop the criteria for this seal, and so I believe he's going to be a part of that committee at the county level. Another positive for Calexico Unified is that one of our own has been appointed to a state legislative advisory committee. It's called the Coalition for Adequate School Housing, or by its acronym, it's CASH. And Mr. Raul Martinez from Maintenance and Operation has been appointed to this committee at the state level, so he would be representing not Calexico but Imperial Valley. So I think it's a positive for our community.
Congratulations.
In previous meetings, we've talked about obtaining a COPS for reorganizing part of the debt that Calexico has from previous debts, and we did receive a letter from Mrs. Ann Mallory, our county superintendent. We did receive a denial letter recommending us not to go for the COPS as a district. One of the things that Mrs. Randall and I did in looking at her letter is we've prepared a brief response just acknowledging the receipt of her decision to disapprove the restructuring and refinancing of the 2009 COPS. And I will share the letter with you so that our purpose for responding in acknowledgement of the letter is just so that we reiterate to Mrs. Mallory that we understand the rationale that she provided for the denial, yet we wanted her to recognize also that Calexico is aware of the deficit spending that she alludes to in her letter, and I'll just read the paragraph. Your letter of denial makes reference to the district's repayment of indebtedness as not probable due to ongoing and continuing increases in our deficit spending, which I in turn perceive prompted your rationale in stating that Calexico Unified will not be able to make future debt payments. The district is aware of the deficit spending and would like to remind you, being Mrs. Mallory, that our deficit spending is largely a result of the budgeted possible trigger cuts of $457 per ADA in the upcoming weeks. The projected unrestricted ending fund is in excess of 10%, inclusive of the proposed trigger cuts. Many districts Many districts throughout the state of California are finding themselves facing similar or worse challenges in their budgets, especially when having to make large debt payments from their general fund. The district is making every effort to carefully monitor spending and operate within its approved budget. And we felt the need to provide this amenable letter simply because, yes, we understand the county's concern about whether or not the district would be able to repay future debt. However, we want them to recognize that Calexico has moved forward in the last year and a half, in the last 2 years, in terms of budgeting and making painful but necessary cuts, and even taking into consideration future potential trigger cuts. Calexico is making every effort to continue to move forward. And we wanted Mrs. Mallory to recognize the efforts of our district in that regard.
I felt a lot of frustration when I read the letter, and I read the whole 9 pages of it, and her report fails to say why she's denying it. She made reference to questions that we already knew the answers to, which we had answered that day that we met with her. Unfortunately, we're paying close to $1 million a year from the general fund to pay this debt that we inherited. And this debt comes from the 1990s. And I don't see how the county can allow this district to pay close to $1 million from the general fund. I did question that to her, and she said that, you know, it shouldn't, and it shouldn't, because this debt is tax-based. It's from a bond that a loan was taken out of, and it should have been paid by a bond. And unfortunately, because of previous administrations and leadership, we're paying this now. So when people question why is Calexico Unified mismanaging, we try to make a wrong into a right, and still the county has taken the position that they have authority over us, and they will do exactly that. They will use their authority to stop us. The only alternative to relieve our general fund budget is to pass another bond, probably in 2014, in order to get this paid. And because, I mean, interest is going to be paid. There was like 6 years that this payment was not being made, and it's unfair that we get caught in that.
And she makes a comment that perhaps our community should seek a bond in future years.
Easy to say when you don't live in the community that's going to pay that bond. But we will be looking into other alternatives. We will be looking into bonds, but we have to show something to the community to that effect. So there, down in the agenda, there's an item that we're going to talk about that enthuses this board, and I think the community, and that would be Plan B. She wanted to know what Plan B was, and that would probably be Plan B. But I think that the community will benefit from it.
I've got a question.
Yes.
When we met with Ms. Mallory at Imperial County Office of Education, we did stress that we had time-sensitive deadlines. Was her reply within that time-sensitive deadline, or the reply was at their discretion?
It was within the deadline. I think that the biggest issue was in regard to the payment that we had already made, and again, that payment was already made, and they did respond within an appropriate time.
Thank you.
It was checked. It was checked, and today was the deadline.
Today was the deadline, so yeah.
And she knew she had 30 days to do it, and she did the day before.
She used 30 deadlines,
So she
even though
used her
we
29
specifically
days.
asked that, please, to provide us some leeway so that we could find some other form of relief. We could.
Yes, but to answer your question, it was within the 30 days, so.
But I just want to know
Right.
for the record that we specifically asked for some relief, or some, if her answer was going to be no, to let us know within the
that
next couple days.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the last item that I have for my report is that we've talked about the AYP and the API results for our district schools and the district as a whole. And in order to address all of the results in a thorough manner, and I am requesting that this board consider having a special board meeting next week so that we can go over academic results only, and that would be basically the only agenda item. Well, there would be 2 agenda items. It would be a special board meeting for academic results, and then if you do consider and approve that, then removing item K3G from the consent agenda item tonight, and put that into next week's special board meeting, because that MOU ties directly with the projected district action plan for improvement. And so I'd rather we address the MOU with ICOE for professional development services on the night that we discuss in depth the academic progress of our district. And so, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Ambriz.
What day, the next meeting?
I would suggest the 30th, if possible, Tuesday the 30th, Tuesday the 30th.
Yeah?
You know, but that's obviously up to the board.
We can check our calendars and see.
Okay, I have something, a question on the superintendent's report. First of all, the lockdown in those 2 schools, I laid down my campaign. I was visiting school yesterday and today, and I have some concern over there. One, lots of classroom, they don't have the possible lock from the inside. So they only can lock it from outside. Sometimes they're not going to have enough time to go outside the lock. And we have to look into some kind of a double lock. They can be able to open from inside and outside by the key. That way we have some kind of double lock, make sure someone was pushing the door is not easily to open. And we need some secure that areas.
Yes,
I think there's a
Mr.
lot of
Kim.
schools in that way.
Yes, our SRO, Dominguez, has been working closely with the site administrators, not just at those 2 schools, but district-wide, to identify, and he's been doing that for several weeks, to identify needs any needs the schools may have in case of emergencies and lockdowns, etc. And they're working closely with Mr. Raul Martinez and MNO to identify what needs our district has and how we will go about meeting those needs.
Yes, and also they have William Morton students they made a concern about it. They will only have 1 doors. The William Morton has only 1 doors, and they don't have any escape doors in case if they need to rent out the other doors. So I don't know what's I think we have to look into that security matter. So when I see the last classroom, they had 2 doors, like
Are
a
we
BC.
talking in between the buildings? I mean, in between the classrooms?
Not between the classroom. One classroom only have 1 door in and out. They don't have another door they might can go to another doors. And I see the Blank Charles have 2 doors.
That's
But
the way the building is built.
yes, but William Moreno, they only have 1 doors. So I believe they might have to concern about the security. Before I said this one, I believe I'm very, very proud of our staff. They were really properly reacted, and also students, they were very calm. Maybe, and then I was comforting them, and even at the Belen Charles parents, I said, congratulate them for their children. They are very well cooperated, and even elementary level. But same time, they were very scared.
Yes.
And the other one is probably we might have to have some kind of motion sensor on the wall in case of they just they jump the wall, they might can be helped, but prevent. And I believe sometimes even the nighttime they jump into the school, they break into the school too. And the other one is the letter from the Mr. Ann Mallory, and that's exactly the same amount of money when I was going to say no, because we paying so much money to using the $1.5 million. We pay 1.9 in order to using $1.5 million in 3 years, and we paying $1.9 million more. That's for the interest. So for us, like almost more than double we paying the interest. So in a way, it's time for us to look into our way to maybe different way to save the money. I agree with that. We have so much money payments that wasn't made by us and made by the former administrator, former board members, but we have to deal with it. So if we don't deal right, and then for the future board members, they're going to blame us too. Thank you.
And that is good, but we're getting cut. That's the problem with the cuts. But moving on to item I, business district's presentations. Item number 1, seal of biliteracy by Dr. Isaac Estrada.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Isaac Estrada. I'm the Director of Academic Services.
You're going to have to use the microphone because of the recording. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So today I'll be doing an overview or a presentation on an important item, which is the seal of biliteracy. But most importantly, I'm going to highlight certain aspects of how a district-level policy enforcing or supporting a seal of biliteracy can benefit student achievement. So to make this short presentation as meaningful as possible in an efficient way, what I decided to do is follow this scope and sequence of the items to be presented. For example, I'm going to first start with a purpose, followed up with the desired outcomes. We have 2 desired outcomes from the presentation. Following with that, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into what the seal of biliteracy is, and specifically talking about why we should have one, and what steps we need to take to implement it at the district level, and following what is it that we need to do as next step as we move forward with the seal of biliteracy in our school district. And I will conclude the presentation with a quick question and answer session if time allows. The purpose of the presentation basically is to communicate the benefit of awarding the seal of biliteracy to the students of Calexico Unified School District. Of course, one of the outcomes is to have an increased awareness as a community, as staff members, and as school board members of what the seal of biliteracy means in terms of our kids being biliterate. And finally, the final outcome is to have a shared understanding of the steps to implement the seal of biliteracy, which is an important piece. So in simplest terms, the seal of biliteracy, basically, it is an award that is sponsored by the California Department of Ed. And basically, the award is to show or giving to students who show mastery or who show proficiency in 2 languages, first being language arts and also a world language, which in our situation, in our schools, is Spanish. And another way to look at this from more of an academic emphasis, students who get the award basically show proficiency on the California Standards Test at the 11th grade level. They show that they're proficient or advanced. That's one of the criteria. And the other criteria, which is around the world language, which is Spanish, is if they take the advanced placement either in literature or language arts, they would be qualified as being biliterate. So basically that, in simplest terms, that's what the seal of biliteracy is. So there are different reasons, very compelling reasons for offering this seal of biliteracy. Of course, the first one is it definitely has the potential to have an impact on student achievement. Secondly, it reinforces the bilingual skills in the current workforce. And number 3, it encourages students to pursue biliteracy through a program that's cohesive, that starts from kindergarten and concludes with the 12th grade. Fourth, it honors the skills our students attain and supports college and career readiness preparation, and it's really attractive to future employers and college admissions office. And most than anything, within our communities, talking about our community, we already have a strength, and that is most of our kids grow up being bilingual. So what this would do is encourage them to go from bilingual to biliterate and advance those skills. Now, briefly, I'm going to talk about the criteria that's standardized for the state. The state basically says if you're going to adopt the policy on biliteracy, there's two main requirements, one in language arts and one in world language, again, Spanish. The first one is all students who would be awarded must complete all English language arts requirements that are part of the high school curriculum, so 4 years, with a minimum GPA of 2.0 or higher. In addition, of course, they would when they take the CST or the California standard test when they're 11th graders, they have to score proficient or advanced. And for students who are not at that level, who are English learners, they have the option of showing mastery of English through the CELT. Basically, if they take it during October that year, we get the results, and if they score early advanced or advanced, that would qualify them to meet that criteria. This other part of the criteria for the seal of biliteracy is mastery of another language. In our situation, it's only Spanish. Other school districts offer French, Italian, and so forth. In our situation, of course, they would have to meet one of the following criteria, which is, if they take the advanced placement in Spanish language, they would get a 3 or higher, or similar with the AP Lit. They would get a 3 higher in Spanish. And the last requirement or another option is passing the SAT to the world language examination. Now, moving on to the steps. These are the official steps that is recommended by the California Department of Ed. There's a total 6 steps, and the number one being is we have to have a clear purpose for offering that award, meaning that it all depends on what we come to consensus. If we want, for example, to prepare our students for a 21st century education, or for a 21st century skills that are needed in the workforce, or post-secondary education. Number 2 is we have to determine the level of pathway awards. As I was saying, the seal of biliteracy is awarded at the completion of high school. However, if we develop a clear program beginning from elementary all the way to high school, we can offer an award at the end of elementary school, saying it's not a seal of biliteracy, but it's a recognition that you're working towards that goal, which is to be biliterate. And again, similarly at the middle school level, you can offer an award that shows students completed about 10 units in Spanish language, and they scored proficient on language arts. You're on your way to becoming proficient in both languages. So again, it's a clear pathway, and that other criteria, it's locally developed. We have already standardized criteria for high school, but we can add to that. And the 4th step is we have to develop outreach strategies and application process. That means that how do we ensure that students are aware that the seal of biliteracy is an option, and how do we have students apply for it? And that's a local decision. That it could include the application process, could include a letter or a statement indicating I want to attain a seal of biliteracy, I met the following criteria, and so forth. So that's what the 4th step would be. 5, it's more about the logistics, design the award process and award presentation. Do we want to award our students through a district level committee or assembly, or do we recognize them during their high school graduation ceremony? So again, those are local decisions that we can have, but we have to come to a decision about, do we give them medals, do we give them medallions, and so forth. And finally, number 6 is we seek endorsements, spread the word. We want to make sure that the community is involved in terms of endorsing us. For example, they can provide free sponsorships for free medallions and so forth. So that's what number 6 alludes to. And moving on to the next steps. I think at this point there is enough support to move forward with developing a policy, developing criteria. So my vision of this would be to get together a committee, a steering committee, or a task force involving teachers from the high school, but also involving teachers, second language learners, and start developing a plan, saying if we want to move forward with this, let's start developing a pathway, beginning in elementary, middle school, and culminating at the high school level. And of course, once we develop a plan, present it to different stakeholders, including the board and the community, to get full support. And again, just want to point out the resources that I used for this presentation are there. And I would really encourage you to take a look at the 4th bullet point. It is a video and it captures student voices that have already gone through the biliteracy award. And it's really powerful because it sends a message of why it's important to them. So other than that, I think that concludes the presentation. You have any questions, comments? Yes.
Besides Spanish, could another language be integrated?
Yes.
And we'd have to offer a full credential. Okay.
Yeah.
My only other comment would be that it would be really powerful also to tie in for the students the opportunities that will come up because of being bilingual and biliterate, in for example, like jobs as interpreters and among many other things, but the interpreting jobs are very lucrative.
Yes.
I think that would give our students a greater opportunity here in the Valley, because working with contracts, I know that, there's certain criteria at a job that you have to have in order to be bilingual, but this coming out of school, it looks really good on resume, and it gives you the advantage of getting the job because you're already biliteracy. So I think this is a good idea that we need to look into, and we are a good district for that.
Exactly.
We are a qualified district for that.
And I just would want to add that the biliteracy seal will appear on the high school diploma. It could also appear on the transcripts whenever, if colleges want to look at it, we'll say student was awarded the seal of biliteracy, and these are the requirements. And that's what's really appealing for the college-going students.
Now, you mentioned from K through 12. Is this a program that has to be implemented from the beginning, or?
No, the only requirement is that we have the standardized criteria for the high school. Upon graduation, these are the criteria like the AP examination and the 4-year course of study in English Language Arts. However, the best practice as recommended by the Department of California Education is that you have a pathway. So we start with the kids in elementary and kind of develop a pathway or activities where they participate in bilingual opportunities. And that could include community service, translating. So then we award them at the 6th grade level, and at the 8th grade level, they've taken Spanish courses, so we can say, you know what, you've awarded the bilingual certificate. So then it starts encouraging them to move up high school.
Very good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
No, very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Dr. Estrada. Our next presentation is Special Education SELPA Program by Mr. McFadden and Mr. Padilla.
Okay, good evening. We have a very short presentation this evening. It's more of a recap. We went to a more extended presentation previously. I just want to hit a couple of key components this evening. Again, for the TIERS program, we're looking at operating a regional program for individuals that are diagnosed as emotionally disturbed. Within the SELPA, we've had this discussion since the 1980s in terms of developing the program. Okay, you can go next. Then we discussed in terms of our interest in a district. Certainly, we have students that have more extreme needs that we're able to meet. And we believe that providing a program here would be a benefit. The program designed a significant amount of staff development and training, not only for the individuals within the program, but also at the school site that it's located with. And again, our intention or desire is to be able to expand out what we learn at the one particular site to all of the other school sites. It's a very specific program. It's very rigid in terms of requirements to get in. We have a set number of students that will be in the class, which is 10. We have 2 administrative emergency placements if we need them. But in all the years we've had the adolescent program, the Vista Sands program, very seldom do we really need emergency placements, but they're just they're available. Okay, go to the next. Again, for the program design, we have 3 levels. Activities just within the classroom that are structured for social skill training, social emotional development, etc. The second level, this becomes more of a behavior contract, mentoring, begin to target and to chart specific types of behaviors, more specific planning. And the third level comes in really for the wraparound services, more therapy as opposed to counseling. And so one of the questions that was asked last time in terms of safeguards in association with suspensions and expulsions. And so here we have SELPA board policy. The board policy from the SELPA represents suspension and expulsion of students enrolled in regional programs. So we are not the only regional program that we have. So this is basically an established, agreed upon process. Simply, suspensions we'll deal with the way that we deal with all the suspensions within a district, according to our policy. When we end up, if there is going to be a recommendation for expulsion, essentially we contact the district of residence, let them know what we're up to. We still have a requirement to conduct manifestation determination, but we would do that with all special education students. Ultimately what happens, and at the bottom line, then I would go to the Board of Education from the district of residence, and that's going to be the group that makes the final decision. Because again, if a student is expelled, he or she still has the right to receive an education. And so it's incumbent upon the district of residence to get that figured out. So they would take the action within their district from the board standpoint, then it would go back to their IEP team, et cetera, to get those components figured out. In terms of the location of the program, we've had discussions. I still am recommending Jefferson Elementary School. It's the perfect layout. We have easy access to the classrooms, to the office, to the cafeterias, and to the playgrounds. We have administrative and staff interest and support for the programs, as well as participating in additional training. And we've been using the site, and Mr. Padilla can speak about this. We really have been using the site as a satellite. We have a couple of unique cases that we're working with, and so we've been able to introduce and integrate, a student onto a campus, and we've used Jefferson Elementary to do that. And again, the other 2 components is that really for the program, it also complements the special education offerings that we have at Jefferson. We have 1 special day class program, 4th through 6th grade, RSP services. We have speech and language. This program would be basically 3rd through 6th grade special day class, and in terms of our integration or the attempt to integrate them, we would be able to use and to coordinate with the existing class that's on there as we work the students going back to the general education program. And in terms of the personnel component, I have the responsibility for the evaluation and supervision for the regionalized program. And just 2 other quick items. Number 1, the funding. Let me make this very clear. There is no cost to the district. 0. Okay. The SELPA Executive Board has made a financial commitment to fully fund the program. So we have, as you can see, a significant amount of funding for this year, which includes operating costs for the year, as well as one-time startup costs. If the cost increase, say we get towards the end of the school year and we recognize the costs are going up a little higher, we go back to the SELPA board, and the SELPA board then reallocates the funding. The money that we're receiving is coming from a special allocation, mental health dollars. There's a lot of money within there. And so I'm not concerned that we will not have the funding to operate it. And again, as part of the budget, the planning, and the money that we receive, this is for the teacher that we have, for 2 behavior aides, and we have on the agenda tonight part-time school psychologists for this year. Again, all of this was built in and is part of the money that we're receiving. And one of the other questions is that yes, we do receive money for rent, for maintenance and operation, et cetera. And again, all of that, can change if we begin to have increases, and we just go back to the SELPA board. And again, the program is fully funded with mental health dollars, no cost or financial impact to the district, and that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Well, you did answer the majority of the questions that we had. The other questions come as the program comes and stuff.
Right. Well, that was my goal.
Yeah. And I thank you. You did meet the goal. And of course, it's always the dollar amount, whether we like it or not. But the other is that it helps our students here and in the valley also. You mentioned that you would go to the school board of that to the district. Let me understand this. You have to go to them because they reside in that area, but yet if the expulsion is recommended and it stands, the ADA goes to this classroom, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it would be taken, that school board would make the decision, and it would just be taken out of this classroom.
Correct.
It would not affect the Calexico Unified School District's ADA.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
And again, ultimately, and it's true with our district, if we have students in county-operated programs or within behavioral health programs, if something does occur, even though they may be attending school in a different district, ultimately the responsibility comes back to us. Okay. And if you had just a couple of minutes, I would like, Lucio, if possible, just kind of share with you a couple of things we've been doing of late at Jefferson. And for me, it just represents what we're really taking a look at in terms of the long-range benefit to the district.
Thank you for the opportunity. I've been visiting all schools, because there's been several cases where we feel that we need to go and intervene and begin to practice our skills. And we have been very successful. I mean, there's been several cases where the personnel at a particular school was not able to diffuse or de-escalate the severe behavior shown by a particular student. And I have gone over there and practiced some of the skills that we have been attaining and that I have been practicing, and we have been very effective, very effective. I mean, to the point where other adults in those schools have told me, that they really look at how important this project is. There's one particular student that has been tried many strategies for about 2 or 3 years and have not been very successful. I have been working with this particular student for about 3 weeks, and it's a 15-year-old girl that has not been able to be put in a significant educational setting, and I usually was the way they were dealing with her was like a home instruction for the last 3 years with no significant success, not even a single attempt to do any kind of work. With the strategies that I have been utilizing, I have been able to first move this little girl to FRC. From FRC, we were able to get some of the severe behaviors. I'll just briefly explain one of the severe behaviors. Cover her face completely, goes down under a chair or under a table, hides herself, starts shouting and throwing desks and doing all kinds of chaos. And with the strategies that I have been implementing, I was able to have her sit down, which was never been able to do before. I was able to bring her to a classroom at Jefferson by herself. Then the next step was to bring two students from a collaborating teacher from Jefferson who was very nice to cooperate with me, collaborate with me. We were able to bring another staff member into the scene, and she was recently just being introduced into a complete classroom, and we're still working for her to continue to progress. But this is a severe case where if it doesn't work with me, she's going to be placed in an institution in Riverside. So I'm like the last hope for her. But we're trying this interventions that we're working with, and we have been very successful. And that's one of the most severe cases. There's several, but it will take me all night to be able to talk about them. But the interesting thing is I've been working there at Jefferson, like we're trying to, explain to you how important it is that we are placed there, is in the willingness of the interaction by the staff members from there. Several staff members have come to me, which has not happened in any other school. I have gone to all the schools and I have talked to all kinds of people, and voluntarily, no one has ever volunteered to me to come in and spreading this project even more. And from Jefferson, there has been a large number of staff members that have come with nobody telling them to do it. They just voluntarily came and asked me if I would begin to work with them in developing character in their classrooms. And one of the topics that they touched on was the bullying in schools, which is, tremendously spread and is one of the main causes of some of the severe behaviors that we have in our schools. Mm-hmm. So they volunteered, and I said, you know what? Let me see if I can do some interventions with you. So I went and I did a couple of interventions, presentations, and talked to the kids. The kids were very receptive about it, and they did some projects, and some of the projects were to deal with some of the problems that we have in our schools. And one of the main problems that the kids want to address is bullying. So they asked me, what can we do about doing this? And we said that we will be willing to do a committee to address bullying. So those are the kinds of things that makes us feel that this is the right place for us to start this, and it will be very successful. And the thing is that once we spread it in that school, we can begin to spread it into the other schools in the district. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Thank you to both. Next item is pool project by Mr. Sanders.
Are we good? Madam President, are we giving direction in regards to?
No.
That's later on?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Mr. Sanders, go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity to present the Margaret de Necochea swimming pool complex project tonight.
And it's Margarita. ¿Quedó? Margarita de Necochea. What? Well, if you want to get technical, yeah.
I hope I've got the spelling wrong then. Okay.
The first name. The first name.
Right, because at one point we had it at Margarita, and then
we had it
checked,
come together.
You had the Necochea together.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll get that fixed.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Hopefully
I have a pointer here. I just want to make sure that's gonna be okay. Not okay. The proposed location of the swimming pool complex is proposed to be located directly on the west side of the existing tennis courts. So here's your existing tennis courts here, just for reference. There's Belcher Street. There on the south side. The project consists of an 8-lane competition swimming pool. So it's 75 feet long and 56 feet wide, which here's a blow-up of the pool. And then it includes a smaller 30-foot by 50-foot recreation pool. The recreation pool would include things like volleyball nets and basketball standards on the edge, so that it serves the community for rec use. The outside edges here are 3 feet deep, and then in the middle where the volleyball net would go across, it'd be 4 feet deep. We're also exploring at this point some opportunities for possibly an extended kiddie pool on the end of the rec pool. that we're currently exploring. The competition pool is represented here, and then the rec pool is on the south side. So a couple of the features of the site layout are that from Belcher Street you have full view of the pool activities here. The supporting pool shower and locker building is located here on the west side. We'd point out that at one point we were talking about leaving the existing pool structure in place and leaving those pools in place with a future demolition. And we've decided that it'd be better to go ahead and deal with that now, take the existing building down and backfill those existing pools, and then build the new pools in the approximate same location as the existing pools. So what that does is that saves all of this area here to the west for your practice fields. I drove up tonight, and those fields are full of and crowded with Pop Warner out there. So we want to try to keep that as tight as we can to the tennis courts. There are several supporting shade structures with this pool. So that's a shade structure. Then we have another shade structure up here, and then there's a smaller shade structure at the west end of the pool, which is represented here. There's a section, and the purpose of that shade structure is so that the timers that work the events, usually for several hours when you have a swim meet, that they are also shaded. And then here on the north side of the pool, parallel to the competition lanes, these would be where the bleachers are located, and that's represented here. So there's a section of the bleachers, and then that also has a shade over the bleachers. So we think we've incorporated lots of shade into the site. In addition, there is some green area around the site, so that when you do have the large swim meets there, the site would be able to support the pop-up tents, so that you can set up for a large swim meet. So you've got green area here and green area around here, and then as an overflow, you could always overflow out into the field. One of the considerations that is also incorporated into the design is that we needed a sidewalk that accesses Belcher Street here. So this represents a sidewalk off of Belcher Street to access the high school. So there would be a fence around the pool facility, but still allow students to exit the high school on this sidewalk and access the south side of the community. I think we've covered all of the site issues and design features of our site. Any questions on the site?
Can you explain a little bit of the building structure that is there? And that's going to be with the help of a bond and some state aid funding also. That way people can start looking at the big picture that looks like that.
Right.
As to the structure.
As to the structure, and that's our next slide here. So that a few items that you mentioned there. The school district and the city are currently working together to create a JPA. The funding for this facility is going to come from several different sources. One of them is Measure H.
Measure H.
There's also some FEMA repair money. In addition, we've added 2 classrooms to this shower and locker facility, and those 2 classrooms would make you eligible for approximately $800,000 in state funding because of the 2 classrooms. So the classrooms are located on the west end of the facility. So there's the shower and locker directly west of the pool, and then on the west end of the entire complex are these 2 classrooms. So just for reference on how that lays out. So those 2 classrooms would make you eligible for additional funds. And then in addition to that, we'll also be submitting an application to the state for a joint use facility, and those projects are worth $2 million in state aid because you're a high school. If it goes at a K-8 site, it's 1.5 million, but at a high school, it's 2 million. So there are several different sources and opportunity for funding, and we will be helping the district to go after all those opportunities for funding. Okay. So the shower and locker / classroom building supports 2 classrooms. Those are oversized classrooms, 1,200 square feet. So a standard classroom is 960 square feet. These are 1,200. They're about the same size as a typical kinder classroom. We have a partition door in the middle there so that those can be used as single classrooms, or in the event of community use where you wanted to support a yoga class or a large swim meet, you'd also be able to do that to support the rec programs. This will be the entrance to the pool off of Belcher here. So you can see on our site plan, that's this sidewalk right here. That will lead you up into this sidewalk right here. So this is an open breezeway, and then here is a small I'm going to call it a ticket booth, so that in the summer rec program that they'll be able to sell entrance into the pool. On the north side of the facility is our women's shower and locker, and on the south side is the men's or boys shower and locker. We kept the showers to a minimum. There's 4 shower heads, and we also have the locker facility, which is located here for the women's and here for the men's, behind a separate locked door, so that it supports both the rec program and the high school swim team program. So, for example, when you come in the shower and locker facility to, say, use the restroom or the showers, you have access here, but you wouldn't have access to the lockers unless those were opened up. So those lockers would be shut off, and you'd be able to control who had access to those. So there's two entrances / exits to those shower and locker facilities. There's the entrance off of this breezeway. You can use the facilities and then come out this door here, and then right here in this location is where the exterior showers are located. So there's an exterior shower here, and then also one up in this corner. So that's a brief explanation of our floor plan for our supporting shower and locker facility.
Could you explain a little bit about the lighting, the natural lighting?
Right. It's proposed that, or one of the things that the pool committee had requested was that we equip the facility with natural lighting. So in this classroom building and also in the shower and locker facilities, we're going to put what's called solar daylighting tubes in. In the classroom building, they'll be equipped with dampers, so that during the day you can open the dampers up fully, and you'll need either very minimal light or no light to be able to use the classroom facilities. And then in the shower and locker buildings, those will also have solar tubes, but those won't have dampers, because the purpose of the dampers is so that if you do want to dim the lights for, say, a presentation or some type of a presentation or activity, that you have the ability to dim those lights, and you do that with dampers. And then also in the breezeways, we're gonna provide natural light here in these breezeways too.
Can you also explain about solar power source?
Right. We are going to review 2 options for solar power. One to heat the pool, and then the second one is to actually connect to the grid. So we'll be exploring those options to provide those 2 forms of solar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some question.
Yes, Mr. Kim?
First of all, I believe in Mr. Sanders' incorporation. Do we have contract with these contractors as doing the swimming pool? I believe we never had approved the contract.
No, there is no contract as of now, because the paperwork has to be sent to DSA first, and Mr. Sanders is working on that. Simultaneously, we're working with the city for the JPA.
So actually, Mr. Sanders not directly connected to the school district. Mr. Sanders is actually direct to the JPA. Or he doesn't have any contract yet.
Well, no, we had gone ahead and approved to move forward on the swimming pool. And the first step was to do the drawings and to send the drawings to DSA. That, I believe that we did have approval for Mr. Sanders to move forward on that.
I think we have to have some clarification on the status for future, because we might gonna end up to giving the job for the Mr. Sanders without any prior the board approve it. So we have to follow some step. If we want to keep doing that, we have to make it legally to clarifying his position with us.
Once the prints, the design is approved and everything by the state, then we will do an RFP for some companies and all that, and that will come through the board.
But we're not going to know how much it's going to cost us all this work for Mr. Sanders.
No, that is going to be coming to the board.
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to know. Maybe he's going to send us a big bill or small bill. We will never know. So we have to be. I'm not trying to deny Mr. Sanders, but I believe we have to be careful, clarifying by the step by step what we're doing it.
And it is being done by step. It came to us to take a vote to move forward. It went to this city council. Correct me if I'm wrong. Councilman Moreno.
By resolution.
And we've already moved forward now. Now where it's going to come back to us is to the formation of the JPA, move forward, and then council, and then once the JPA, it's still in process, Mr. Kim.
Yes, but the thing is, Mr. Sanders doing all the job without any pre-approval. And he's doing it, so we might gonna end up to say what is going on for the later. And I believe we have to have a clarification of the Mr. Sanders' position related with the district regarding his job to doing it. That way, clear the path for everybody, so we can take care of our business more clearly.
Duly noted.
Yes.
And so same things like I don't know how much it's gonna cost with Mr. Sanders doing it. So we have to have some kind of other stages to clarifying all the cost matters, his positions. We have to do it.
And all that is coming
And
to the board.
and also we might have to go to bidding process for this job first, and then after finish all the drawing and whatever the DSA we sending, and then if we have approved it, we have to go doing the contract. That is supposed to be another contract come out.
That was done months ago. That was done months ago when we approved the moving forward of the swimming.
Yeah, we approved the moving forward, but who's gonna do it? We didn't approve it. That's the problem.
It was Mr. Sanders assigned to the project, Mr. Kim. So,
Okay.
Okay. Well.
And I was seeing what was a good idea, but when they're using the solar power, we might gonna have a chance to get the grant for the solar power facility. So we might gonna have a more source for the money, for the swimming pool. Even all the
that's been discussed.
all the roof, the solar panel, we might.
That's correct. That was discussed at the committee level.
So we're not gonna know. We're gonna receive more, we might have a chance to get more money from the solars.
That's correct. We will be looking at that.
So actually,
and the IID is going to try and talk to the solar companies, wind power, and that are here in the valley. Actually, there's one of the solar powers that are. Is it a wind power?
It was actually Mr. Terrazas that said that he'd contact the solar companies, and IID said that they would talk about once we got the JPA form, talking about finding programs where they could help us install the solar panels. So take care of getting the panels, take care of getting the.
They might have a lot of grant from the federal fund
correct.
for the solar panel, solar
that's true.
projects.
Those are rebates. Thank you, Mr. Sanders.